Hello everyone. So today we are starting with constructions of quadrilaterals class 8 chapter 14 exercise 14.1. For this chapter we will be requiring a good sharp pencil along with a compass and a ruler with an eraser. The sum says construct a quadrilateral PQRS where PQ is given as 4.5 centimeter, QR as 6 centimeter, RS as 5.5 centimeter, PS 5 centimeter and PR 6.5 centimeter. So I have written all the measurements that are required for the sums that are given and drawn the line using with the help of a ruler. Now for the solving of constructions of quadrilaterals, first we need to draw a rough diagram. This is very important. When you draw the rough diagram, drawing and constructing the quadrilateral becomes easier. So as you can see, I have drawn a rough diagram PQRS and just I have put all the measurements that are given. So now to start with the sum, we have drawn a line PR that is given as 6.5. Now with the help of a compass, we need to draw an arc or the measurements that are provided. So now, for example, if we want to find PS, now PS is given as 5 centimeters. So we put the needle in P and measure it with this compass. So we get 5 centimeter. Now we again put the needle in P here and just draw an arc. While drawing this, we get the point S as PS 5 centimeter. Similarly, we have to draw RS with the help of this again measuring as RS 5.5. We put the needle in R and draw an arc here. We get RS as 5.5. Now similarly again RQ is 6 centimeter. So we put the needle in RQ, measure it as 6 centimeter. Then you put the needle again in R and just draw an arc. Again putting the needle in P, first we have to measure 4.5, P 4.5. Then we put the needle in P and draw the arc and construct the required parallelogram. So this is the way we solve the sums for constructions of quadrilaterals. So I have already written all the instructions that need to be made, like AB as 3.5, BC as 5 centimeter, CD as 5.6, DA as 4 centimeter and BD as 5.4 centimeter. And accordingly we take the compass. First we have to draw the base, then accordingly we measure with the help of a compass and take it in point accordingly and just draw an arc. So on completing it, we get the diagram as this. You can take a screenshot of it and it is as similar to the first sum. And this is the way we do the second sum. Now carefully look at sum number 3. So we have already drawn a rough diagram and we see that RS is not given. So when it is not given, we are not going to think too much about it. And diagonals are given as PR 4 centimeter and SQ as 5 centimeter. So I have already drawn what are the requirements are. Now first we take base PQ as 3 centimeter. Now we take PS is 3.5. So we measure 3.5 with the compass and we just draw an arc putting the needle at P. We just draw an arc. Now after drawing an arc, similarly we do for QR, that is 2.5. So we measure QR 2.5 and similarly putting the needle at Q, and we draw an arc at R. Now it is given as PR as 5, so PR as 4 centimeter. So we measure 4 centimeter from here, and we putting the needle here, we just intersect it and we get 4 centimeter. Similarly with QS, we measure 5 centimeter and putting the needle at Q and draw an arc here, and we get an intersecting point here, and we just draw the line accordingly and we get a parallelogram. Now look at sum number 5. It is given as BC 6 centimeter, CD 4 centimeter, angle B as 45, angle C as 90 degree, angle D as 120 degree. First we draw the rough diagram. So on drawing the rough diagram, we see BC is given as 6 centimeter. Now angles are given. Now BC we measure with the ruler as 6 centimeter. Now to draw 45 degree, first we draw a 90 degree angle. So how do we draw a 90 degree angle? First we measure just a small radius we take. Now drawing a half semicircle, we put it here and draw 60 degree, and then again on putting the 60 degree we draw 120 degree and make an arc here, and again putting the needle at 120 degree we make an arc here, we get 90 degree. Now to draw 45 degree, first we put the needle here and we draw an arc here. Then again putting the needle at 90 degree, we just draw an arc here and we get a 45 degree angle line, and we just extend it. Now we have to draw 90 degree at C. So you know how to draw 90 degree here, but be very careful with the radius that you take. The radius what you take initially has to be same in case how many degrees you draw, because if you just do not maintain that, then your parallelogram will not come perfect. So now we have drawn a 90 degree keeping the radius same. So we draw 90 degree and we extend the line. Now at point D, that is 4 centimeter, we get 4 centimeter, and we just take 4 centimeter here, we measure 4 centimeter, suppose this, from point C. As we have extended the line of 90 degree with point C, we just make an arc. So while we make an arc, we get point D. So on point D, we just draw 120 degree, keeping the radius what we have earlier taken in B and C, radius to be the same. Then we just draw and measure 120 degree and we get AD as the line. Now this is the complete parallelogram.